Hi everyone, my name is Rob Walker and welcome to this very special and exclusive webinar. Now just a quick message from myself and all the team at Commission Killer before we introduce a very special training seminar with a very special guest speaker. Now his work as we've been familiar with for quite some time now. He's going to be showing you some of the tips on how to boost your monthly income into a six-figure mark. And he's going to show you how he makes his money live in this webinar. Now this is a free webinar, so all you have to do right now is pay close attention. So put your wallet away, shut down your Skype, your Facebook and your Twitter, whatever distraction you might have in the background. That's a free webinar, but it's also an exclusive one-time only webinar because this is the first and probably the last time a guest speaker will be lifting the lid off the mechanics, if you like, behind the success and the tools he uses to make money online. So if you haven't got a pen and a paper, make sure you get one. Quickly run away and get one because you really don't want to miss a beat here. Now, it was hard enough getting our guest speaker to come and speak to us today. This is normally the kind of information the pros want to keep to themselves. So do yourself a favour and pay close attention. Now, one thing I do have to mention, I've been told to mention, we do have very limited spaces for attendees. If you are listening to this, you actually got in. Okay, a lot of people were disappointed. Now, if you switch off or if you do get disconnected, it's very likely that someone else is in line to actually take your spot and you will be unable to rejoin. I do apologise for that. Now, our guest speaker, let's tell you a little bit about him. He's going to be moving at a fairly determined speed, so stay focused, okay, because we're going to be covering a bunch of topics from traffic generation to profit scaling, looking at the latest trending methods and the technologies that he uses. In short, pretty darn comprehensive, and that's not something that you hear in the world of internet marketing today. The most exciting thing about this webinar is that it's hands-on exploration, okay? These are the methods that our guest speaker uses to make his money online. And the beauty about what he's going to tell you, it's fully compatible with the Commission Killer system. Now, don't worry if you've got no previous experience. You don't need a high level of expertise, and we're not going to be doing back-breaking hard labour, okay? None of that's required because the knowledge you're about to acquire in this webinar, you'll have the chance to make your online, your new online career a success. And the beauty about it is it's simplicity in itself, okay? And that's the kind of information everybody wants to get access to, no matter, not to mention the kind of stuff you probably want to keep under your hat as well. So that's why our guest speaker took a great deal of convincing, to come and speak to you tonight. But in the end, it was the effectiveness of the Commission Killer system that sealed the deal, representing an opportunity to combine not only our system, but his system as well, and combining the two into, a making money powerhouse, really. Now, in the back channels of internet marketing, when you get to the primary level, a new system, a new revolutionary system, starts to get tongues wagging. Now, if you've got two systems working side by side and working together, now that spreads like wildfire. It really does. And pretty soon, you have a meeting of minds on your hand there. It really is that good. So that's how we're at with Commission Killer. We got talking to our guest speaker. Okay, we persuaded him to come along. So let me just tell you a little bit about him. He's a secretive, but he's a genuine marketer, okay? And what I like about him, he's got a good eye for opportunity and a healthy appreciation for the powers of the Commission Killer software. Most important. So that's why he's here. He's going to show you how to make the potential of what you've actually got with Commission Killer. Put it all into the mix, into his own secret method of boosting your online income. Okay, so he's going to show you how to do that. So maybe it's vanity, maybe it's pride, or maybe it's just high time. The incredibility, clever mastermind behind this system. Okay, he fessed up and gave us all an online look into his money-making machine. Okay, but he's a really, really nice guy. So I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to hand over the reins to Charlie. That's his name, Charlie. He's one hell of a polite Englishman. And Charlie, I've spoken off already, so I'm going to hand over the reins to you. And good luck, son, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much indeed, Rob. And thank you for such a lovely introduction as well. I'd better be on my best behaviour now if I'm going to be what did you call me? A very polite speaking Englishman, I think you said. That's very nice. Hello, everyone. Welcome along to this webinar. And I'm so excited right now to look at how many people are on this webinar. It's pretty crazy. And I'm just so pleased and just really quite touched, to be honest, that you're all here to kind of hear about this. And more importantly, I'm excited for you because I know that we're going to be sharing some stuff on this webinar, which is pretty game changing. I didn't share this very easily. I'm not very easy to convince to do this kind of webinar, and I don't really do them all that often. So I'm really excited to be able to share this with you. Now, first of all, I want to make sure that you can all hear me properly. So would you just, as a quick sound check really, just make sure you can hear me okay. You might want to turn your speakers up slightly if it's a bit quiet, but just let me know that you can hear me by typing yes over there in the chat box on the right hand side, and just make sure you can hear me okay. You can type in whatever you like, but just anything that tells me that you can hear me would be great. Yes, wonderful. Cool, there's quite a few. Wow, that's amazing. There's like 1,000 people all saying yes at once. That's amazing. Cool. Thank you so much indeed. And even a nice comment about my accent. That's very, very nice. So let me get on with what I've got to show with you here tonight. Oh, first of all, I should also say that we're live, 100% live right now. You can see that via 2 bits of proof that are on my screen right now. The first one is quite simply look at my system time, which is the time on my computer. If you look down in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see it's now, it says 0008, which is just 8 minutes past midnight here on the 27th of the 2nd, 2012, so 27th of February. Now, obviously, I'm aware that it's not the 27th of February everywhere, nor, of course, is it just after midnight. For example, I saw there was Simon on the Gold Coast in Australia. With him, it should be, I think, my time scales are right, it's around sort of lunchtime with him on the 27th. If you're loads of people saying that you can hear me, that's great. Thank you very much. Yeah, and people in the States, obviously it's still the 26th with you, various different times depending on where you are. So obviously that's the time right now. You can also see I've got CNN.com up on my screen right now. And this is the international edition of CNN. Of course, they're covering the Academy Awards, which are, well, they've just been last night, my time last night. They're still going on in the States, I believe, right now. So it's the 84th Academy Awards right there. And yeah, you can see kind of the details they're covering there. There's also some stories here, one about Nelson Mandela, one here about Senegal, a story here about atheism and religion. There's here the showdown vote in Australia for the ruling party. So wherever you are in the world, you'll be able to see. Oh, someone just said 11:10 a.m. in Australia. I thought there was several time zones in Australia, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so that's it. Let me get started properly. So you can see anyway, I'm 100% live right here. And if you can, I guess you can hear from my accent that I am English. I'm here based in London, and I saw there's a few people. Who did I see? Yeah, Joseph was in London as well. So to all those people who are up really late right now, and even someone who was in France, I saw Alan was in France, who's even an hour later than us. So yeah, congratulations to all of you for, well, 1, getting in, and 2, for still being awake at this time and ready to, change what you do online and how much money you make, which is really exciting. So anyway, let me get started. Oh, I should also say, you might have seen this screen. Oh, by the way, when you see this screen, it might take a couple of seconds for it to actually load up on your screen. And that's purely because of the fact that there's so many people on this webinar right now. We've peaked at 1,000 people. In fact, it hit 1,000 before we even started the webinar. That's how busy it is here tonight. And as a result, it might take a little bit of time just for it to filter through to everyone's screen. So if I draw attention to something on the screen, just give it a second or so, and then you'll see it on your screen as well. But hopefully there's not too much of a delay. So yeah, you might have noticed I was watching this video earlier on, just kind of browsing through it. And this is from someone called Chris Anderson, and he's a filmmaker, and he was basically talking about how YouTube is driving innovation in the world right now in various different ways. And I'm actually going to come back to talk about this a bit later, because we're going to be using YouTube and a few other different techniques as well in ways that I don't think will have seen before. And if you have, then there's no way you'll have seen them done quite like this, and certainly not on this kind of scale. So stay tuned, because I'm going to be showing some pretty exclusive stuff with you as well. I've also put together a quick presentation for you as well. So let me bring up my slides really quickly, and yeah, then we can go and get started talking about that. So let me grab my slides, which are just about there, I think. Cool. So there we go. Welcome. Now, the first thing is, you probably heard, when we were talking earlier on, when Rob was doing the introduction as well, you probably heard him mention that I don't generally tend to share this stuff a great deal. Now, it's fairly proprietary information, and basically I don't really do webinars like this very often because, to be honest, I don't really need to. There's no need for me to kind of do this kind of webinar other than to really just share this kind of thing with people. And even that, I'm not really all that keen on sharing it, usually. So it's fairly rare that I'm doing this webinar right now. So I'm really pleased that you got in here at this time when I'm doing one. And, as I say, it's something that no one's really ever seen online. I really genuinely think you'll be blown away by the end of this. And, the guys at Commission Killer, the whole team have had some really good results with this. Their best results have been up in the tens of thousands of dollars that they've been making in the space of just 1 month applying my system. So, this is stuff that really does work and that, real people are making money with right now. Now, what's really groundbreaking about this really is that it's the money. And I want you to bear in mind as we go through this webinar, what you would actually, have or what you would spend that money on were you to be able to make, let's say, let's say $1,000 a day. Okay, we'll start there as that's kind of a really good sort of level. I actually make way more than that, and I'll show you some proof of that in just a moment. But imagine for a second you were able to make an extra $1,000 a day. Or even let's be even more realistic. Let's say even a smaller amount than that. Let's say, $200 a day. Let's say you're able to make an extra 200. What would that do for you? Over the course of a week, you'd be generating, in 5 days, Monday to Friday, you'd generate $1,000 if you were doing $200 a day. So, by the end of the week, you'd have had $1,400. What would you do with that extra income over the course of that week? Or even over the course of the month or the year, as that started to build up? Who would you spend it on? What would you spend it on? Would you maybe build assets? Would you go and buy property? Would you help out members of your family? Would you, think of it in mind? And actually, if you have a pen and paper, which I suggest you do, if you don't have one, by the way, go and get a pen and paper now, because this is the last time that I'm going to kind of mention anything before I go into the real meat of the webinar. Please just make sure you've got a pen and paper handy and jot down the things that you would actually go and spend this money on. So I want you to keep those in mind as we talk, because you'll see how achievable and how relatively easy that is. Doesn't matter what you put down on that piece of paper. I can tell you now that it's something you can create. So that's that. Oh, and also Skype and Facebook can be pretty distracting. So please, if you would, I'd appreciate it if you would turn those off right now. This information really is too powerful not for you to really listen to every single word. And as I say, take plenty of notes as well. Now, it's highly advisable that you stay right to the very end of this presentation, and I'll explain why. Basically, I'm going to share with you a special secret method that you'll be able to go away with and implement immediately, which in turn will get you results the very same day. Now, I actually only work for about an hour a day now. Okay, and again, many people find that hard to believe, but you'll see proof of it on this webinar. I'll do what I do on a daily basis for you on this webinar, and you'll see just how quick I can do it, and again, how quickly you can do it, because it's a very simple system. And what's exciting is that it's something that's worked for everyone who's tried it so far, and that's been a fair few people, most of whom have not got any real experience of making money online or that sort of thing. So it really is very, very simple. Now, as I say, I've fine-tuned my system now to make me well over $5, $10, even $20,000 in the space of just one day. Some days even more than that. And as I say, lots of my family members are using it. In fact, one particular member I was talking to a couple of days ago. He's a cousin of mine and has a newborn little one, like a little boy who must be about, I guess, 2-3 months old by now. And we were talking, and he was saying how this was fantastic for him because he was now able to work from home. He could see his little son grow up, and just have a really wonderful time as a result of this system, and be able to actually make money from home. And in this case, he was doing between $600 and $850 in just one day. So again, really fairly groundbreaking amounts of money, which it doesn't take a lot of money to change people's lives, and you'll be able to generate that literally off the back of this webinar. So, as I say, this is really easy to replicate. So let me show you, first of all, just very quickly, some proof of what it is that I'm able to generate with this system. Now, have a look over here. These are two screenshots, by the way, from the same account. One is for January and one is for February of last year. So I'm going to show you that it actually goes back. The whole system actually has been working for about 18 months, but this goes back sort of about a year, just over a year ago. And you can see the kind of money that we're able to generate there. For example, if you look on the 16th, actually, yeah, this is a good exercise. Look at here on the 16th of January. This touches upon something I mentioned earlier. I've got there $247.87. Now, just think about this for a second. What if, by working an hour a day, you were able to generate an extra it's about $250 in one day? What if you were able to do that? Again, what would that do for you, and how would you actually use that money? Because to me, it's not about the money. If I'm completely honest, it really isn't. It's about the freedom that money buys you ultimately, and the fact that I can do whatever I want, whenever I want to do it, and with the people I want to do. I can do stuff with my family. I can provide experiences for them that they will never forget. Wonderful things, and it's really about that for me anyway. Some people are motivated purely by money, but I'm not one of them, if I'm honest. So right here, you can see we've done way more than that over the course of a day. Like if you look, like here, the 7th of January, we did $2,362.17. And again here, 2,156. And again, over the course of the next month, for the same time period, the 5th to the 19th, we're again able to generate good amounts of money. And you can see the weekly sales snapshots just here of, $5, $6, $7, even $8,000 in the space of just 1 week. Moving on, you can see that actually through April and May, this same account was actually able to go on to generate weeks where we made up to $20,000 in the space of just 1 week right here. And again, I'm aware this is up kind of getting to the stage now where, some people don't make that in a year at their job, let alone in the space of just 1 month. So it's really about the compounding effort of what I'm going to share with you. Just by doing literally an hour on this a day, you can really start to change the financial future that you're looking at. Moving further on, this is another couple of accounts, just very quickly. These are 2 more accounts that we set up sort of towards the middle of June, and we were kind of working on them and actually doing some testing on them. You can actually see there on the Sunday, the 10th of July, we actually turned this system off for the space of just 1 day, and kind of turned it off as far as that particular account was concerned. And while we turned it off, we obviously let the account go down to 0, and then we cranked it up to 11, so to speak, on the next day. And the next day was the 11th, actually. And you can see that we went up straight on to do $1,000 in that day. So, really, really cool stuff, as you can see right there. Now, that's really interesting. Loads of people sharing what they were going to do. I didn't see that. That's really cool. Loads of people have been sharing what it is that they would do if they were actually able to generate that kind of money. That's awesome. Cool. There's loads of people. Very, very cool. Someone just said mystery man, cute accent. Thank you very much. You can see not quite such a mystery. You know what my name is now, at least. But loads of people really excited to find out what this is. Loads of people saying, oh, that's really nice. Someone just said they've just gone on vacation. They haven't had one for 6 years. Someone said build a vocational school and fund it. That's amazing. That's really cool that you're sharing that stuff already. So thank you so much for participating. I really appreciate that. So moving on, just to show you, this is November of last year, and right through towards the end of the year, you can see that. Where are we? Yeah. So on that day, we've got 2,000 ClickBank account. Oh, I should also say, if anyone's not familiar with ClickBank or indeed with affiliate marketing, basically it's very simple. You get paid commission for promoting other people's products and services, okay? It's really that easy. So let's say that you sign up to somewhere like ClickBank, okay? You can do that for free, clickbank.com. You can sign up there completely for free. And when you do, you get a username and a password and all the other stuff. And you can then go into the marketplace and you can promote products that you find in the marketplace. So let's say that you want to promote a product that's about, improving your golf. So you go in there and you find, a product about golf, and then you can get your affiliate link, okay, for that product. Now, the affiliate link just basically tracks who clicks on that link, and every time someone clicks on it and then buys something, you get paid a commission because you promoted that product successfully. So it's about really getting your link in front of the largest number of people possible who are interested in that specific topic. There's no use promoting something to a golf enthusiast when it's all about something totally different, So that's something that you need to kind of be aware of. And again, I'm going to show you how to do that right here. Cool. So someone just said they're going to take their wife to, or they would take their wife to England, France, and all over. That's pretty cool. And Rob just said she's going to love you even more after tonight, maybe. So right here on the screen, you can see Amazon.com. Many people aren't even aware that actually Amazon has its own affiliate program. So affiliate marketing, as I say, you get paid commission for promoting someone else's products. You can go and find literally anything on Amazon and promote anything you find. So let's say, for example, in fact, here's an example just very quickly. By the way, if you're already familiar with affiliate marketing, just hang on just for literally a minute while I explain this, and then we'll move on. And I want to get everyone on the same page because it's important that we're all on the same level. I guess most of you probably will know what affiliate marketing is, but I'm just making sure that I'm really thorough with this and I don't leave anyone behind because that's really important. So yeah, as I say, on Amazon, I actually promoted something on Amazon, which is simply a DVD. It was a DVD for a TV series, and I promoted that using the method that I'm going to share with you tonight. Now, what's great about Amazon is that they are the masters of what's called the upsell, where you actually will sell something to people who've already bought something. So let's say that they put a DVD in their basket. Well, Amazon sees that and goes, okay, they've put a DVD in their shopping basket. That means they must like DVDs. And the DVD they've already got is a comedy one, so let's give them more comedy DVDs that they can buy. You can just is a master of selling more stuff to people. And so when you give a promotion to someone, when you actually say, go here to buy this DVD, if they go and buy it, you'll also get paid commission on all the other things they buy during that visit. And I did this, and someone went actually a bit crazy. And this was before Christmas, they went Christmas shopping. And they must have bought things for what I presume was their daughter or their granddaughter or whatever. And they actually went and bought a load of stuff. Like they must have spent £400 or £500 sterling. On Amazon, and I got paid commission on everything they bought, which is just awesome. So again, we'll talk a bit about that as well, because that's something where you're actually getting leverage, and another site is doing the work for you. So that's cool. And right here again, you can see the commission is £21,697. That's what the GBP stands for. It's GB is Great Britain, and the P is for the pound, which is my currency over here. This one here is from Google AdSense, and this is great if you have a website. Now, a website is not essential for what I'm going to show you at all. In fact, I'm going to show you a way a little bit later on. I'm going to do this absolutely live as well. I'm going to show you a method in which you can go and get yourself a website and have it set up and monetized in the space of literally 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. Again, I know that sounds like a big claim too, but I'm going to back it up by doing it absolutely live on the screen for you. I'm going to show you, exactly what we did and the exact method that we do, and I promise you that will blow you away. I think the stuff I'm about to share is going to blow you away, but when I get to that stuff, it's really crazy. So yeah, just bear with me, and I will show you some really, really cool stuff. And this is Google AdSense, where you can place adverts on your site. And when you place adverts on there and someone clicks on them, you get paid a commission just for someone clicking. They don't even have to buy anything. It's just you're sending traffic away from your site and sending it somewhere else. And for that, Google is willing to pay you some money. Finally, this one is from Max Bounty, and this is what's called a cost per action, or CPA network. And CPA networks are slightly different in that you don't need to make a sale to actually make money. You can actually just go and send people to free offers. So let's say, for example, that they're really into I don't know, mobile phones and mobile phone ringtones, or maybe they're into a particular artist, a particular musician. Well, if that's the case, you can send them to an offer which is all about their favorite musician, or all about how they can get the ringtone of their favorite song on their phone. Well, you send them to that offer, and when they sign up, which they can do for free, they sign up just by putting their mobile phone or cell phone number and their email address in, let's say. And when they do that, you get paid. Now, the reason you get paid is because those companies know that that person is going to be worth 10, 20, 30, maybe even up to $100 or even more to that company. It's going to be worth that amount to them further down the line because they're going to sell more things to them. And so they're willing to pay you a few dollars commission for actually, promoting that offer to them. So again, a really simple model, but slightly different to regular affiliate marketing. And again, you can see just here, the month to date, $34,775.66. This is actually from just the end of May last year. This screenshot was taken around the 26th, I think. And so we still had a few days of the actual month left before we kind of finished up that month. So we ended up doing nearly $39, I think it was, $1,000 in that month. So yeah, anyway, amazing kind of stuff. And finally, this is a master account from ClickBank, and ClickBank is very good at treating its affiliates, people like me, very, very well. And what it will do is it will give you a master account when you start making a certain amount of money. Now, what this does is it puts all of your accounts in one place. And as a result, you can see the kind of sales and commissions that you're making each day from all the different accounts. You can just do this all from one ClickBank account if you want to. But in my case, I like to split them up from the different markets and niches or niches that I'm in. So anyway, you basically got to start somewhere, okay? And that's really what this is all about tonight. So I obviously could show you screenshots and proof for the next hour, but that wouldn't be very interesting or very informative to you. And by the way, the reason I show you all that stuff is really for only one reason. It's to show you the possibility and also to show you that I'm really genuinely doing what I'm saying I'm doing. So you can see right there. I've got no interest in showing off or any of that stuff. So I'm really purely doing it just to show you the possibility so you can envisage that for yourself as well. Loads of people saying that they're really enjoying the webinar so far. Cool. You haven't even seen what I'm going to share with you right yet, but I'm so glad that you're being informed by it as well. So that's really cool. Now, as I say, I could show you screenshots and all that all night long, but I've got no interest in doing that. But you've basically seen there already a business that's making a clear $100,000 a month, and that's just from those screenshots and those accounts. I'm actually doing way more than that over the course of a month, and as I say, I could show you more, but I'm not going to, because basically, as I say, you've got to get you started somewhere. I want to get you to the point where you're making $1,000 a month as quickly as possible, and then from then to go on and to make even 5 figures or even scale it up to 6 figures a month super fast. And there's also something else I want to make very clear. I don't make my money from teaching people how to make money online. That's not what I do. I just basically work my system for about an hour a day, and then I go off and I spend the time living life, with my family and just doing new things, new experiences, stuff that you wouldn't normally get to do if you're sat behind a desk from 9 to 5 every single day. Just stuff that you don't get to do. I'm one of those guys that you might see on your lunch break, who doesn't look like he's been to work that day, but still seems to be, driving a nice car and that sort of thing. And I'm sorry if I annoy you, by the way, because that might be the case too, but I don't mean to. It's just, I get to go and live that sort of life, and I want you to be able to do the same thing too. So the cool thing about this is that it's a foolproof system, and it works in any niche or any market or niche if you're in the States. And you'd be surprised at the weird markets and niches that I've basically uncovered with this system. The cool thing about this is that you don't actually need to have any interest in the niches or markets you're going into to make money. Now, I can feel myself getting pretty excited to share this with you. And if I do speak too quickly at any point, just let me know, and I will do my best to slow down. I know how much I've got to get into this webinar and how much I want to share with you. But I'm also aware that I do get excited and I speak too fast. So if I do, just let me know, and I'll just do my best to, slow the hell down a little bit. But hopefully it's not too fast right now. Now, all you really have to do is take action off the back of tonight's webinar and just follow the steps, and it will work for you. Okay, I think it's time I show you exactly what I do. Just a tiny bit before that, I need you to understand that I don't actually spend any money in my business on the usual methods of paid advertising, things like Google ads or Facebook ads or any of those well-known traffic sources, things like pay-per-view or any of that. I just don't know any of that stuff, so I don't spend any money on that. I also don't spend hour after hour on, online trying to optimize web pages for search engines, because again, with what I'm going to share with you tonight, there's no need to mess about with any of that kind of stuff, trying to rank on page 1 and all that other stuff. I hope at least now you're getting the impression this is not the kind of thing that you are getting, pushed down your throat every day on email. If you're on anyone's mailing list, you might find that you're getting lots and lots of emails every day. And this is something very, very different from all of that stuff. Now, when I first started, before I stumbled on this system, I actually was that guy doing SEO, doing search engine optimization. And I was commenting on blogs and forums and, begging webmasters to link to me. But the thing is, I was getting results, but I actually found a number of sites that I had which got into the top 3 positions on Google, and they were getting me traffic and sales, and I genuinely thought I'd found a solid system. The problem is, if you've been marketing online for, more than about 5 minutes, you'll know that Google is always changing the rules on what it takes to rank well in their search engines. And it can be very, very unnerving indeed when you wake up and you realize that Google's done an update and all the pages that you got to page one and all that other stuff has just been for nothing, because everything just disappears. Sales and traffic and all of that just dries up overnight. It's quite terrifying when that happens. And when that happens, you are forced to find a more reliable solution to really, drive as much traffic as you can, and find methods that don't rely on, places like Google, who could just pull the rug out from under you at any time. Now, when I look back, the answer came out of pure frustration and a consistent need to pay my bills and support myself. I'm sure you can relate to that. You're on this webinar right now. Now, I know there's a lot of buzz around things like Facebook fan pages and Twitter and, all that kind of stuff. To be honest, I don't know anyone, out of all the top marketers I've spoken to, I don't know anyone who's really making massive amounts of money with those, certainly not really consistently. And I've even tested them myself. I'm a big fan of testing stuff. And so I checked out, Facebook and built up accounts on there with, loads and loads of fans, big fan pages. I did the same on Twitter. I got loads and loads of followers. And you know what? The results were really nothing to write home about. Now, here's the thing. If I get a chance, I will actually, someone just said Google sucks. Well, Google's amazing, but it's kind of hard work when you're trying to do marketing on there. But basically, I got to the stage where I tested all that stuff and it wasn't working for me. Now, the difference is I've actually kind of stumbled across a system using Facebook in particular that is working really, really well. It's something that I've not really shared at all. And if I get a chance, I will kind of share it with you at the end of this webinar. But that's not the main topic of what I'm going to talk about tonight. If I get a chance, I'll talk to you about it. If I don't, then maybe I'll get a chance to share it with you again sometime. But I think what makes the system I'm going to share with you unique is that there's no loopholes. Many of the systems that you'll see out there online at the moment and for the last few years have relied on things like loopholes. Now, a loophole, quite simply, I'm sure you're aware, is one of these things where something hasn't been quite done properly in terms of the search engines or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and it allows you to do something amazing. Now, the problem with loopholes is that all those big companies like Google or Facebook or Twitter or any of those others are very, very good at finding those loopholes and closing them as quick as possible because they don't want those loopholes to exist. The problem is someone makes a product all about that particular loophole. By the time the product is ready to be sold, that loophole's probably dried up. And it's something that, I'm not a big fan of. I don't think it's a very cool thing to do to people, to tell them something that doesn't work. So, you have to be really careful of those sort of systems. Fortunately, what I'm going to share with you tonight, again, isn't a loophole type system. It's actually based on a very solid foundation of user interaction. In fact, you might have even seen that on the slide earlier on when I was looking at YouTube. That presentation that guy Chris was doing was all about YouTube and how the fact that it's driving this huge amount of innovation right now. And the core fundamental principles that make my system work will be around forever. You'll start to understand why in literally just a moment, and I appreciate your patience so far. Now, basically, I've very rarely revealed this strategy publicly, and consequently, when the team at Commission Killer, decided that they were going to, decided that they wanted me to share this stuff, I flat out basically said no. This is a really powerful method. If you want to get it to work for you, you are going to have to get rid of a lot of the miseducation that you've been fed. And by way of doing that with you right now, I want to kind of get you to that point quickly. So I wanted to sort of show you where this came from. Now, I'm only doing this purely in order to give you, for two reasons, actually. One, in order to show you sort of where it came from, but more importantly, I want to give you the tools and the kind of the way of thinking that you need in order to create your own kind of system like this. Because although I'm going to share mine with you tonight, and you could easily use mine and never have to use another one again, I'm quite a fan of coming up with more ideas like this, and maybe some of you are too. So I think this could be something that could be useful for you. Anyway, basically, let me explain very, very quickly a bit of background. I'll take just a couple of minutes on this. Now, basically, before I started doing anything online, I actually worked on the factory floor of a parcel company, believe it or not, standing at a conveyor belt all day, every day, sorting and picking out parcels, putting them in their relevant post or zip code, and then leaving them to be packed by, packing them up and then leaving them for the drivers to then bring them to their destinations. To be honest, to say the job was mundane would be a massive understatement. The pay at the time was barely minimum wage, and I mean at the time I lived on my own in this kind of tiny little one-bedroom studio flat, and I had to pay the rent each month. Incidentally, if you're curious, that genuinely is on the screen right now a picture of the place I used to live, and yeah, not so cool, as you can probably see. Someone once said to me it looked a bit like a prison cell, and it kind of felt like one as well, purely because I was just so desperate to not be there anymore, you know, and desperate to not be in that situation. Maybe some of you can relate to that, I don't know. But basically, I would come home every night after a long day's work, and I would turn on my crappy little laptop that had been given to me. You should understand at the time, money was very tight, as you can probably imagine, judging by where I was living anyway. And you probably maybe are not familiar, but this was something that happened in the UK not all that long ago. The job market kind of went through the floor, and as a result, I was finding it very difficult to get a job. So I had to take anything I could, despite having, you know, a good education, and despite some people even said that I don't sound like that well. You know, I had to take whatever I could get. So, you know, I was just I just went and worked there because I had to. So again, maybe you've done that. Maybe that's something you've done. Anyway, I basically had to piggyback on my neighbour's internet connection at one point when I was getting on the internet. And in comparison to what I have now, those were some really crazy, really bad times. But I basically kept myself going with this idea that you could make some money, just a bit of extra cash online, and then build upon it. Now, I'd love to know if this is you, okay, or if this sounds familiar. Please just let me know what I'm about to say. I'd love to know if this rings a bell with you, and if it does, just leave me a message over there on the right-hand side, and either one of my team, or if I get a chance myself, or Rob will just leave you a reply. But I'd love to know if this is you, so listen up and tell me if this sounds familiar. Basically, I got caught in a bit of a trap, at least it felt like a trap, where I was buying quite a few products with money that I didn't really have, or maxing out more than one credit card, and I was buying lots and lots of products, and I would follow the steps in them word for word, and for some reason my experience was just awful. I just couldn't get any of the systems I was buying into to work. It was kind of as if the people who were providing these products, or who were creating them, were leaving out a vital bit of information. And it kind of felt like, even though I was, you know, taking action, I mean, I was staying up until the early hours of the morning, you know, and still trying to make something work, and it wasn't. Now, the reason I didn't give up was, as I said, I knew there were people making money online. Well, there's a few people right now, quite a few people actually, who are all tuning in saying that this sounds familiar, this is something they've done, this is what they would do, or they have done in the past. Yeah, quite a few of you, okay. Cool. Someone just said, come to the UK and you'll hear that accent. That's quite a funny comment. I like that. Yeah, it's true. We all speak like this in England. So if you ever want to come over here, if anyone who likes the accent, you can come over and visit us. Anyway, that's not really the point. Basically, as I say, I didn't give up because I knew there were people making money online. I just, as I say, told myself that I hadn't cracked the code yet. The problem was, in the back of my mind, I knew I had to get something working really fast, because I had my creditors on my back who were sending me red letters threatening all kinds of legal action. And I remember one night I was going through my notes and I started piecing together bits from all the different systems I'd been learning. I then tried something new that in essence went against everything that I was being told to do. And it wasn't long after that that I actually had a breakthrough. It was kind of a bit like an epiphany almost. I actually got something to work. I made my first sale. I was so excited. I can still remember the amount right now. It was $37.43. There you go. It's like it's tattooed on the inside of my brain. The funny thing was, the reason I got the sale had nothing to do with what the so-called gurus were telling me to do. I basically kept experimenting, and it wasn't long before I had a few things I was doing making me money. Nothing spectacular, but I was making some progress. And I started getting days of $40 and then a $67 day, and then I'd make, you know, $48, $49, maybe slightly more, and then I'd go on and make, you know, even more, until it got to the point where I was making like $100 a day. And eventually I got these amounts consistently, until eventually I got it to the point where I was making $1,000 a day. And I can still remember the feeling when I saw my commission hit that figure. I really thought I'd cracked the code. Now, shortly afterwards, I actually quit my job. And this was probably, in hindsight, a bit of a mistake, because well over half the money I was making was coming from traffic that my web pages were getting from Google traffic. And that dreaded day came that I told you about. I got slapped. I got slapped very, very hard, and I lost all my pages overnight. It was a massive blow, but I still had a system in the background that I'd created, which was still making me a little bit of money. It was nowhere near the amount I was making with Google traffic, but it was consistent. And the more I looked into it, the more I started seeing and creating ways to scale that income up. And as I did this, I had another key moment where I realized that unless everybody in the world just stopped using the internet, or the internet just blew up, you know, this would work forever. Now, I was at the stage where I was making about, well, certainly more than I had when I had a job. The problem was to maintain that level of income, I was working double the hours and I had literally no life at all. I got to the stage where I felt blocked, like I'd hit a ceiling, I guess, really. And like I was chained to my computer all day, every day. And it felt physically impossible for me to scale up that income anymore with this system. Now, don't get me wrong, I was making decent money, like I was doing $5,000 to $7,000 a month. The problem was to keep that level of income. As I say, felt like I'd been tied to a computer all the time and was doing days that were way longer than when I had a job. I also hadn't socialized with friends and family for months. And yeah, I just felt like I'd hit a ceiling, I guess. I found this slide. I thought you might find it kind of fun. So I basically kept thinking, if I could duplicate myself, I'd be able to train up a few members of staff, and then they'd be able to actually help me out and, maybe help me to make some money, and I could scale my income up that way. The problem with that, you might already have seen the problem, but the problem with that is the fact that if I taught someone else how to do what I was doing manually, then they could go and do it themselves and make all the money and keep it all for themselves, and they wouldn't need me anymore. And of course, that's a real problem. And you know what? To be honest, I wouldn't kind of feel bad. I wouldn't begrudge them, that thing. So I basically kind of couldn't find a way of doing this. And the answer was actually closer than I thought. I don't know if it was a law of attraction or some kind of manifestation, but the answer actually came in a supermarket of all places. I was, walking up and down the aisle, and I bumped into somebody who I'd known a long time ago, an old friend. And we got chatting and catching up like you do. And he kind of dropped into the conversation at one point that he worked for a big software company. And that software company were creating, big corporate software solutions for major companies. And at that moment, a light bulb went off in my head. I explained briefly what I was doing, and I asked, how much would the company that you work for charge me to create a piece of software that could do automatically what I'm doing manually by hand? And he said, well, I mean, that's probably something that would take 3 to 4 months. And if it took 3 to 4 months, programming on a daily basis, like the daily price is about £450. And I suppose over the course of 3 or 4 months, you're looking at about £45,000 to £55,000. And honestly, my heart absolutely sank. I can't tell you how disappointed I was, because I was making good money at this stage. I say, $5,000 to $7,000 a month. The problem is, in UK pound sterling, that's really only about £4,000 a month. And that's okay if all I wanted to do was make a few thousand extra than the average UK or US worker. But I wanted more than that. And I said to him, okay, how much would you charge me to do it in your spare time? He said, well, for you, I'll do it for half price. I'm like, man, that's still like £25,000. To give you an idea, in US dollars, £25,000 is about 40,000 US dollars at the current exchange rate anyway. So there's no way I had that kind of money. So basically, I decided I'd invite him over to my place, and I'd show him exactly what I was doing, show him a whole process, and I'd show him, just like I've shown you just now, I would show him exactly, how much I was making, and show him some of the kind of accounts and the screenshots. And after I went through it with him, it was kind of as if it was like a light bulb went off in his head, because it was as if, well, it was weird. He started kind of mumbling to himself and, pacing up and down the room. I thought he'd lost it at one point. And then he turned to me and said, Charlie, do you know what? I can do this for you. I can automate this whole thing for you. I can build you a piece of software that will do everything you're currently doing. And I'll do it in my spare time, and it won't cost you anything. But there is one condition. And I thought, oh man, at this stage, I mean, literally anything. He said, okay, all I want you to do is teach me what you're doing, but I want you to teach me using the software approach that I'm going to build for you. It's like, well, that's a no-brainer, obviously. And we shook hands immediately, and he got started. It actually took him 6 whole months to get going. And so consequently, when I kind of met up with Rob and the Commission Killer guys, I just was so adamant I wasn't going to share this with every Tom, Dick and Harry, And after a little while, they, eventually, I suppose, broke my spirit. And eventually I agreed that I'd come on here and share this with you. And even though I was kind of reluctant to share it, I'm really excited right now to kind of get you to see this, because I really want to bring you into the inner circle and actually show you some of the cool stuff that I'm doing, and actually get you to be part of that inner circle as well. Part of my family and friends who are really making great money with this. So I'm about to fire up what it is that my programmer actually put together. Please remember, this took 6 whole months to create, and it also, basically, if you took this to a big software house right now, it would take, well, easily 45 £1,000 to create this sort of software. Which in dollars is about, I guess, $70,000 or $80,000. It's a hell of a lot of money anyway. So this isn't some cheap software put together by some Mickey Mouse organization. So let me go and show you exactly what it is right now. Oh, one last thing. Before I actually get to the actual software, just one tiny little thing. When I was confident enough to show this to my friends and family, I put together a whole load of instructional videos. And these videos make it a lot easier to work out the whole system. And you'll be getting access to all of these at the end of this webinar as well. So let me go and show you it right now. Let me end that. And this has actually been running right here at the bottom this entire time. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is non-stop commissions. Now, this is the front page. You can see I was kind of fiddling about with it earlier on, but this is the main front page when you first fire it up. And yes, can I get a big ooh from everyone? Because oh, I can hear you doing it in my head. That's sad, isn't it? This is basically nonStopCommission. And nonStopCommission is the only software system that I use. I'm not a big fan of using tons and tons of bits of software and tools and all that other gubbins. I can't be bothered with all of it. So I wanted to find something that would make me the money I wanted in just one place, where I could literally log in, do what I needed to do, and then go out for the rest of the day and do what I wanted in terms of life. So let me know, first of all, what you think. Right, lots of people going, ooh, on the chat box. Very funny, very good. I can see lots of people liking this as well. Let me know what you think of the design, first of all. Obviously, there's the kind of funky logo we've got in the middle, but let me know what you think of just the way it looks, first of all, because I'm really curious to know if you like it. Because like I say, this doesn't get shown to many people, so it's kind of interesting for me to get a bit of feedback before I actually show you the entire workings of the system. Cool. That's lots of people saying cool. Very nice. Okay, so right here, let me go through and show you. Let's just see where we'll start. Okay, I'll start here with a new project. Now, when you have a new project, I'm going to take you through the whole system right now. Basically, when you start off with a new project, you're going to go and find an area that you want to go into online. Now, the way to do this is very simple. You can actually, if you want to, copy some of the ones that I'm using right here. Down the left-hand side, you can see there's a whole list of all the recent projects. And there's things like bodybuilding, there's movies, there's PC repair, computer games, business solutions, movie trailers. There's just a ton of stuff in there. And basically, I'm in a lot of those markets, and I don't know anything about most of them. If I'm completely honest, I don't know anything about most of them. Things like bodybuilding, for example. If you ever get to meet me, you'll know full well that I'm not a bodybuilder by any means, and have no real knowledge of it either. Computer games, I don't really play computer games, don't really know much about those. Comedy, not really. Business solutions, that's the only one that I do know something about, really. The rest of it, DIY. Oh, this is one that I don't think you have in America, DIY. DIY stands for do it yourself. And it refers to home improvement. It's what you guys in the States would call home improvement. Or I think Canada has home improvement as well. You don't call it DIY, but that's what it refers to. So that gives you an idea just there. Now, very simply, you start off here with a new project name. And the new project name, I like to give the project names the area that I'm going into, so the name of the niche. So, this is where I type in, gardening or bodybuilding or golf or whatever I type in. And then you need to go and get your YouTube app name. Now, the YouTube app name is something which you go and get because we're going to be using YouTube in quite an innovative way, which, again, I'll talk about in a moment. And if you're kind of confused as to what a YouTube app is or a YouTube developer key, then you can go up here and just click on this link. And that link will actually take you through a page on YouTube that you need in order to get your API key. And very simply, an API key is just a code, really, that allows your software, what you're seeing on the screen right here, to actually talk to the YouTube site independently of you. So it kind of can do its thing without you needing to be there. Yeah, that's the simple way of putting it. So you go and get that key. Then you go and get your Bitly username right here. And loads of comments, by the way, coming in about how you like the way the site looks. So thank you very much, or the software rather. So you can see right there that we then get the Bitly username and Bitly API key. Now, Bitly is a very cool tool which allows you to shorten the URLs of affiliate links. So a URL is like a web address. That's another word for it. I can't remember what URL stands for. It doesn't matter. I don't need to know it. But you can basically shorten those addresses. Now, many affiliate links are quite long. So, for example, it could be, you know, golfproduct.com/affiliate/affiliate number /a code, and it's going to be really, really long, and it's going to be kind of ugly. Particularly if you go on ClickBank, for example, ClickBank affiliate links are really ugly. They've got a new sort of tracking system that they use for their links, which is great in terms of tracking, but it's rubbish in terms of the way the actual the way the link looks. So you'll see that it's, you know, lots of numbers and letters and underscores, and it just doesn't look like a proper website. And so people generally won't tend to click the links as much. So instead, you can make them look tidier by using bit.ly. It's bit.ly is the site. In fact, I think it's changed recently to bit.ly.com, bit.ly.com. And you can go there either way, and you can go and basically shorten websites down to a smaller link. Now, as well as it being cosmetic in terms of, you know, obviously the way it looks, it's also useful for in terms of tracking, because I want to know how many people click on my links, because I want to know how effective they are. And I'll talk a bit more about that a bit later, because that's something really useful to know. The same is true of Google, goo.gl. That's another URL shortener. And the URL shorteners, that's Google's very own URL shortener, in case you're curious. The reason we use that one is that bit.ly and ClickBank had a bit of a falling out recently, and we use ClickBank a fair amount, as you've seen from the screenshots I showed you earlier, those income screenshots, many of those are from ClickBank. And they had a bit of a falling out a little while ago, because some people were basically using bit.ly in order to basically spam loads and loads of ClickBank links all over the internet, which is not a cool way to do it at all, and that's certainly not what we're doing. So instead, bit.ly just said, okay, well, we're not going to accept any more links from ClickBank. So as a result, they, you know, made sure that none of those links worked anymore. So we had to use something different, because we were one of the guys playing by the rules, and so we decided to use Google instead, goo.gl. So that's the reason we have two URL shorteners just there. Now, you can also then put your download path, which is the place on your computer where you're going to be downloading a few bits and pieces later on, but I'm not going to talk about that right here. Instead, I'm going to go here and go into the Media Monetizer. The Media Monetizer is one of the types of project. There's two projects. One is Media Monetizer and one is a Media Hijacker. The Media Hijacker I'll get onto a bit later, but the Monetizer is my first sort of port of call, as it were, first place of interest that I want to talk about, because this is really where it gets kind of fun and interesting. So right here, we've got a movie trailers project. Let me just grab some water, by the way, really quickly. I'm going to move the mic out of the way. Hopefully you can't hear me glugging away at my water. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, cool. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. And hopefully you couldn't hear me glugging away with my water. So, yeah, this is a movie trailers project. Now, we've decided that what we're going to do is we're going to find out what movie trailers are out there using YouTube. We're going to go to YouTube, or at least the software is going to go to YouTube, and it's going to go and search for all the movies that we ask it to look for. I'll show you the list of those in a second. And what it's going to do is it's going to go and monetize those videos, and it's going to do it in a kind of interesting way. So let me go here to the search criteria. Now, what we're going to use, first of all, is keywords. Now, keywords, very simply, are things that the software uses to search for on any site we want it to. In this case, we're going to be using on YouTube. And it's going to go and search on YouTube for videos that are related to the keywords we choose. So over there, up at the top here, you can see these are some of the various different movie names that we've chosen. And these are all movies that came out over the course of the last year. Things like Source Code, Transformers 3, Super 8, Conan the Barbarian, Hangover Part 2, Real Steel, Scream 4, all of those. And actually, being that it's Oscars night, this is kind of a useful thing to be talking about, because obviously you'll be able to find out about all the movies that were really big, and also some of the movies that are going to be big, some of the ones that are coming up, and might even get Oscar mentions in the next year. So again, it's something that you can keep an eye out for in the current news and the current media, because it's something that's very, very relevant tonight. So that's why we're kind of using the movie trailer. That we're going to choose one of these, or we can have all of them running at the same time. Then we're going to come down here, and we want the video that the software finds to not only be about that particular topic, we also want it to have a minimum number of views, in this case of 60,000. So the video has to already have had 60,000 people view it before we actually get involved with it, because I want to know that that video is trending. I want to know that it's going to be really, really popular, and that there's lots of people who are going to be interested in watching it, and who have already been interested in watching it. I also want to make sure that it increases, like here, minimum increase in views of 4,000. That means every 24 hours, then the number of views increases by 4,000, okay? And again, that's something that I want to do because I want to make sure that the video is going to be trending and still trending by the time we get to actually monetize it, which I'll talk about how we do that in a moment. One other thing you can do is, as well as finding really good trending videos using keywords, we also want to find videos according to the YouTube feeds. Now, YouTube feeds are streams of information. That's the best way of describing a feed. And these streams of information will basically allow you to locate certain very cool bits of information. So right here, you can see that we've got the most viewed, top rated, recently featured, watch on mobile, most discussed, most responded, and most recent. The ones I would be using personally are most viewed, top rated. I would also be going for, what's the other ones? Most discussed, definitely, and most responded is the other one. And the reason I go for those in particular is because those are ones that are definitely getting lots of either views or lots of interaction. And I want there to be lots of interaction between the videos that are being watched on YouTube and the watchers, if you like, the viewers. So I want to make sure that there's lots of interaction between those videos, again, because that's going to serve me a little bit later on and serve the efforts that I'm going to go to, or rather that the software is going to go to. So again, we make sure that we've got 60,000 minimum views and then a minimum increase of 4,000. And you'll see why we're doing this in a second. So once it goes and finds those videos, it brings them back and it displays them just here. You can see here, for example, there's a video which we have got, which this looks like a Transformers screenshot, and this is from this channel. And you can see right here, this is actually an indicator we've put in relatively recently, which shows the number of increase in views just at a glance. And this shows you that the increase is what we call smoking hot, so very, very high increase. Right here, you can see that the first number of views for this one was 3.44 million. It's now 3.46 million, which is an increase of 21,355. So that definitely falls under all of the right criteria. Now, you might be thinking, well, why are we looking for these videos? Well, it's very simple. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to add on our own YouTube account right here. So in this case, our YouTube accounts, this is the list right here. And if I scroll down, you can see, if I go down to the bottom here, these bottom 5 right here, these ones are all marked MM. That stands for Media Monetizer. And as a result, what that basically means is that we're able to go and with the Media Monetizer, we're going to use these accounts in order to send messages to the people who own the videos that we found. So the software is going to go and find a video, and the video is going to be about a particular movie in this case, and it's going to have a minimum number of views of 60,000, a minimum increase of 4,000. It's also going to check for a couple of other things. Official video, like it's not one of the big official movie studios, for example, because we'll never be able to monetize those ones. And instead, it's going to make sure it's just a regular user of YouTube. It will also, and this is really crucial, make sure that there's no link in the video description, okay? You can put, again, people don't realize you can do this, but many people don't know that you can put a link to a website into the description area of a video on YouTube. Many people don't know you can do that. They think you can only put a link in your profile on YouTube, and that's not true. You can put it on underneath the videos too, and we're going to capitalize upon that later on. Again, you'll see why and how in just a second. Now, right here, you can see this particular account here, actually this one here, the movie trailers one, this one here has sent 452 messages. So that's 452 videos that the software has found that we can capitalize upon and monetize. And you might be thinking, well, how exactly do we monetize them? Well, let me show you. You go through and go into the message settings right here. And these templates are all templates of messages that have worked really well for us. And you will get access to these as well at the end of the webinar. So you'll know all the messages that we've got that have worked for us really well, and you can go and use them yourself. So right here, where it says template 2, you can see that what we're going to do is send them this message. And it's going to first of all start with their first name. Now, what it will do, the software will automatically, oh, by the way, I will use the word automatically a lot tonight, or automated, or some form of the word automatically. The reason is because everything that you see on the screen right here is happening automatically. There's very little that you have to do yourself. It's all pretty much automated. At least the difficult part is automated, because that was what I wanted when I first set this out. I wanted to make sure that we had a system that worked as automatically as it possibly could, and that's what we've come up with right here. This is the reason, by the way, that I'm able to do what I can do and just work for about an hour a day, and then be able to go off and do other things other times. So right here, it says first name. So what it will do is it will go over to YouTube. It will find the name of the person, which they usually put on their YouTube channel. They usually put their name there. It will come back and paste it in just there. And then it will say, I saw your video, and it will put the name of the video in here as well. So whatever video that it's found. So let's say it's someone called Bob, and he's got a Transformers 3 video. Okay, so Bob, I saw your video, Transformers 3, and I'd be happy to pay some dollars via PayPal to have a link from my website in the description area of your vid. Let me know by reply if you're interested, and it signs off with the name of your channel. So there you go. You can see what the system is, or at least the start of it. We're going to give a few dollars to the person who owns that video to put a link to our website into that video description. Now, here's the crucial bit. You don't actually have to have your own website. This could quite easily be an affiliate link. In fact, in the Media Monetizer, that's what I'd suggest you do. You actually go and put an affiliate link into the description area of the video. And the reason you do that is because it means you don't have to have your own website, but it means you can still generate money using this method, okay? Now, the cool thing about this is you can actually now drive traffic to any website you like. So anything that you create using Commission Killer, anything that you create as a result of, well, pretty much anything, you're able to go and actually generate these links over and put them into videos on YouTube, which are trending, are high trending videos, and then put a related website or a related affiliate offer into the actual video description. Now, I'm going to go through an actual slide later on, which will show you the entire process. It's a very simple slide, but it will just show you very clearly the whole process. So, so that's the actual messages that we're going to send out. And again, this happens automatically once the software finds a video that actually meets all the criteria that we set out initially. So so that's kind of the process right there. In fact, let me show you that slide now, just to give you an idea of kind of the process that we're going to go through right here, because I think that would be kind of very useful. Let's go all the way to the end. I did flash it up very quickly on the screen earlier on, but I didn't actually mean to. It shows you how good I am at all this webinar, presenting and all that stuff. Okay, so right here, we start off up here in the top left. It says you type in your keyword. Then you set your view criteria. Well, I've shown you all that already. Then the software brings back trending videos that are based on your keyword. After that, the software automatically sends a message to the YouTube channel's owner. That was the Bob character that I found out in my example. Then you get a response from them, obviously. You place your link in their video's description. Then a percentage of that video's viewers will click on your link or offer, and then some of that percentage will actually buy. Obviously, from there, ka-ching, you make your commission. Okay, very, very simple. So let me show you actually some of the responses that we've had to these particular messages that we've sent. Loads of great comments coming in, by the way, of what you guys think of this so far. Lots of people saying this is ingenious, very clever. Someone said very smart thinking, interesting, very smart, sounds really cool. It would appear to be a foolproof blueprint. Yes, it pretty much is. And yes, as Rob said, it's about time, isn't it? So let me go back in and show you. Where was I? Back in the software. I'll show you right here. Now, here's the cool thing. Oh, let me show you the responses that we get to these messages, by the way, just so you can see how cool this is. And I'll come back and talk about the statistics that you can see on the screen right now in a second. Let's go to the inbox. Okay, so over here in the YouTube inbox, you can see, this is a good example actually. This is somebody who had a video, you can see this message right here that I've just opened. This one was someone who had a video which was featuring someone called Kerry Hilson. Now, certain people on the webinar will know who Kerry Hilson is. She's I believe, sort of a hip-hop R&B kind of artist, and she's quite popular in the States, again, amongst a certain demographic, and she has done this video, and the video is actually a remix of one of her songs. The original song is called Pretty Girl Rock, and the remix is this video that we found, and the remix features Kanye West, who is, as you all probably know, a fairly well-known US rapper. Now, the cool thing about this is the fact that we found this video, well, the software found the video. I was out doing something, but the software went and did its thing while I was out, and it found this video, and then it sent a message, again, directly to this person. It put their name in the message, it put the name of their video in the message, and it signed off with the name of my channel. It did all of that, and we got this response. The response says, "Hi, I can do it for free The link should be in the video today. Now, how cool is that? Now, that's not a typical response, I should explain, but how cool is that? Somebody has come back and said, you can keep your money, it's fine. Instead, I want to put a link in the video description for you completely for free, no problem. Now, this goes to show a real mentality that exists on YouTube. People don't know what they're sitting on in terms of the little pots of gold that are out there on YouTube, okay? This is something that most people don't realize they can monetize. They don't know they can make money from their YouTube videos. If you ask most people how to make money from YouTube, they will generally say, oh, well, I'll just agree that YouTube can put ads next to my video and I'll hope that people click them. Well, the click-through rates on those ads are not very good. Okay, generally speaking, then they're really not very good. And so you're not going to make a great deal of money. Far better for someone to approach you and say, hey, can I give you, $10, $15, maybe $20 to put a link in the video description? It's only a tiny bit of work. It's only take you 30 seconds maximum. You just copy this link and you paste it into your video description and I'll give you this amount of money. And that's all you're doing, really. And the cool thing about that is that they will willingly accept the money in most cases. Some people will say they can do it for free, like this lovely person has the money, but most people will take the money. Now, here's another example, actually. Let's see. Yeah, I answered that question just now, but someone just said, this is genius. How much money do you usually offer? It can be anywhere between $5 and sort of $20. I generally don't go much over that unless I find a video that's really, really worth it. And again, we'll talk a bit more about that a little later on in terms of the money. So yeah, bear with me and I will answer most of the questions that you have. Okay, so let me show, oh yeah, this is another good example. Let's say, yeah, we put this one here with the movie, this is a movie trailers channel called Viva Movie Trailers. And what we did is we said we basically negotiated with this person and eventually they said, yeah, okay, I'll put I'll put your links in 50 of my videos in the description. Now that means we've just generated 50 new properties, if you like, if we talk about it in real estate terms. That's 50 kind of properties that are sending us visitors, sending us traffic. And again, these are all related to movie trailers. So what can we do? Well, we can offer the people who watch the video something that's to do with those movies. And again, I'll talk a bit about what you're actually going to promote via these links a bit later. I will show you a complete demonstration of exactly what sort of thing you would sell for a specific video. I'll go looking for a video and I'll just monetize it in front of you so you can see. So that's that. So that's kind of the responses that we get from these particular messages that we send out via the software. Going back in the software, oh yeah, here's a really good question. How many, oh, by the way, what do you think so far? Many of you have kind of said that you think this is cool, but go ahead over there in the chat box on the right. Let me know what you think of this so far and yeah, what you kind of think of the idea of it and the actual process of carrying it out, which as you can see is pretty much 100% automated so far. There's only a tiny little percentage that is just you replying to them and, dealing with the money and all that kind of stuff, but the rest of it is absolutely automated and it will find you the videos that you would struggle to find on your own. That's the key thing. I was doing this myself, doing it by hand, and it was painstaking. I didn't realize how painstaking until I had a system doing it for me, and I suddenly went, God, what was I spending all my time doing that for when I could be, finding a bit of software to do it for me? So you can see right here, that's cool. Loads of really good responses coming through. Thank you for those. Keep them coming. So I'm really curious to know what you think. Now, right here, let's just have a little look at this for a second. What if, and to actually tell me if this has happened to you, has anyone recently, I'm talking about in the last month or so, maybe the last couple of months, has anyone said to you, you should check out this video on YouTube, it's really funny, or check out this video, it's amazing, or it's really inspiring, or it's really emotional, or it's really, I don't know, it's something. They've basically said, have you seen this video? It's, and then they put, an adjective after it. Basically, this is something that you should keep your ears out for in this case. As of now, basically, you should always be listening for someone to say that to you. And also, if you have an email sent to you, like at work, for example, somebody might send an email around with a funny video attached to it that's on YouTube. Well, if that's the case, you should immediately start thinking of something along the lines of this. That's interesting. Somebody sent me a video. That means that video is being watched by probably quite a lot of people. I wonder what videos that are related to that one we could potentially monetize. Okay, that's the thought process that you need to go through. And it's very, very simple to do. Let me give you an example, actually, of some of the videos that are out there. there's a really good example. Actually, I was having a conversation with my dad a few weeks ago, and we had this conversation, and I'll sort of tell you a bit about what we were talking about, and then some of the actual results from it. So I was talking to him about some of the videos that had gone viral on YouTube that were really, really popular. Let me go and show you this right here. And I was talking to him about a particular video which was called Charlie Bit My Finger. And Charlie Bit My Finger was a video, as I say, that was very, very popular. And it was basically two children who were sat on a sofa and they were being filmed by their parents. And at one point, the little boy, well, there's two little boys, but the youngest of the two, who's only a baby at the time, does something very funny. Now, it's only a 50-second video. I'm not going to show you the whole video right here, but let me just show you an example. Yeah, there you go. Look, Charlie Bit My Finger. I want to just show you how popular this video is, okay? Now, this is not actually the original Charlie Bit My Finger. There's two videos. One is called Charlie Bit My Finger, The Accident, and one is called Charlie Bit My Finger Again. And Charlie Bit My Finger Again is the one that got all the kind of views. Now, just look for a second. This is a video that was uploaded by just parents, okay, two parents of these two children who are, you know, adorable, very cute, and very funny, it turns out, as well. And these two are basically basically just being kind of filmed, and they're just regular people, right? These are not, it's not a studio, this wasn't kind of a setup, this wasn't anything other than just something very funny happening and someone capturing it on camera, okay? However, look how many views this video has had. Considering it was uploaded just by a random, you know, person like you and me, this video, it's mad. This video has received 424 million views in the time it's been online. Okay, 424 million views. Just think about that for a second. Now, the video has been up since 2007. You can see underneath that video, it says, May 22nd, 2007, okay? And you can see in that time, it's had a stunning amount of views. Now, I will tell you something even better than this, okay? I'll tell you a niche right now that you can go into and something you can use on YouTube. First of all, you can go into a niche like this, which is just kind of random, funny silliness, okay? Which these videos work quite well. But it's a little harder to know what to actually market to this kind of thing, because this is going to be shared by a lot of people. But this gives you a good example of some of the amateur stuff that gets uploaded to YouTube that does incredibly well. Now, think about this for a second. I'm going to show you something else that's amateurish that gets uploaded to YouTube. Let me go over here to this. I'm going to type in Lady Gaga Bad Romance. Now, before anyone asks, no, I'm not referring to Lady Gaga when I say amateurish. She's amazing. But right here, you can see, if nothing, her marketing is she's got it down, okay? But right here, look, you can see this video here, Lady Gaga Bad Romance. This video, in the time it's been up online, which is about 2 years-ish, I think, just looking underneath, I'm just going to mute that. Sorry if that was a bit loud for you. I'm just going to mute that video and also pause it so that it's not playing. But basically, you can see right here, this video has been online since November the 23rd, 2009. And this is the official channel, the official video for Lady Gaga's song, Bad Romance. Now, have a look at this. This video has had 450 million views, just over, in the space of 2 years, more or less, okay? 2 years and 2 months. So in that time, it's had a ludicrous amount of views. I think it's fair to say. Now, if that's the case, you should immediately think, well, hold on, I wonder what related videos related to this one there are that have been uploaded by people who are not, you know, not the studio, not professional people like that, who are just regular people who've uploaded videos that are related. I wonder what there is, because if that video itself has had that many views, there must be others that have had similar numbers, or at least impressive numbers. So let's, okay, right here, look, directly underneath it, this is what's called a lyrics video. Now, again, I'll just pause this for a second. But these lyrics videos are amazingly popular on YouTube. Again, I'll mute it just there. If I click play, you'll see that it comes up with Bad Romance, Lady Gaga lyrics. Now, it's muted, so you can't hear the song, but basically the song is playing while those lyrics come up on the screen, okay? And what you can do is you can, you know, watch this video and, you know, sing along if you want to, if that's the sort of thing you enjoy. And there's an awful lot of people who do, it turns out, because this video has been up online for a month less than the official video. So this was uploaded a month after the official video came out. And you can see right here, in that time, the video's had 16.9 million views. Check that out. 16.9 million views, nearly 17 million views in that time. Now you might think, okay, well that's nowhere near the number of views that the official video had. Well, don't worry about that, because I want to show you something amazing. Imagine for a second that you could monetize this video, because you can, okay? This is not an official video, and this doesn't, look down here, this doesn't have a link in the video description. It easily has the right number of views, and we'll find out in a second if it has the number of views that I want. Let's say I want a minimum of, I'm going to be a bit more specific. Let's say I want a minimum of 5,000 views a day on average for this video, okay? So you can see, now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a quick bit of maths for you right here. But this is the only time I do maths ever, because it's the only time I find it interesting, because it tells me how much money I'm going to make. You can see right here, let's go to where it says here, YouTube maths. Right here on the screen, you can hopefully see I've just opened up a Word document. Now let's say the original number of views was, let's say we're going to go over 2 years. So let's say 16.5 million. I know it's nearly 17, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt for 2 months. And also say here that video has been live for 2 years. Okay, so if we take off, it's been 2 years and 2 months that video has been up. It was uploaded in December of 2009. It's now the end of February 2012. So you can see that it's been up for 2 years and 2 months. So I just say I'll round it down to 2 years. So that means it's had 8.25 million views per year, okay? And if it's had that many views per year, if I take that, 8.25, and divide that by 365, that will tell me how many views a day, roughly, it's getting. So that's 825,000. We divide that by 365. That gives me, wow, that gives me 22,602 views per day. 22,602 views per day. Okay, that definitely meets my criteria, in case you're curious. So if that's the case, then I'm going to start thinking, okay, well, how can I monetize that video? Well, very easily. I get the software to send that person a message, and the message says, can we give you $20, $30, an absolute maximum, to put a link in your video description. Now, I'll get to what it is we send them, what actual link we send them in a second. But just imagine this. If 1%, okay, let's say 1% of viewers, I can't spell, 1% of viewers click the link, okay, that we put in the video description. Well, 1% of that is, if I've got this right, 226 people per day. Okay, let me know if I've got the maths on this right, because my maths isn't all that wonderful, but I think that's correct. 1% of 22,602 is 226. Okay, let me know if I've gone wrong so far. Then 1% of those people, 1% of the 226, 1% of those actually buy the offer. Oops, offers but with 3 Fs. Offer just there. That means that's 2.2 per day. Okay, so let's say 2 people buy. So 2, and let's say that you make. I'm gonna go really low on this. Okay, I'm gonna go really, as they say in America, very low ball on this. So if I low ball this and say that only you're going to make $5 for every sale that you make of whatever it is that you're promoting. So let's say you make $5. So 2 times $5, times $5 equals obviously $10 per day. Now, here's the thing. You might be thinking, hold on, $10 per day from one video. That's not that much at all. That's kind of rubbish. Well, if you're thinking that, just bear with me a second, because watch this. If I then say $10, okay, per day, I then multiply that by the number of days there are in a year, that equals, anybody? Of course, $3,650 per video per year. Now, think about that for a second. By monetizing that video, even if you only made a 1% conversion on the actual number of people who clicked, and then another 1% on the actual people who got to the site and bought something, even with those low numbers, you could still be making, and even with a low commission of $5 per person, you could still be making $10 per day, which over the course of a year is $3,650. That's from one video. And it's a video that no one has yet monetized. Just think about it for a second, okay? Have a little think. That's amazing. Don't you think? That's incredible. You can start to see how I'm able to generate the kind of money that I'm able to generate. Again, go over there in the chat box on the right-hand side. Just let me know what you think of that, because I think you'll find it's pretty impressive stuff, and we'll show you the kind of ability that you can to create this kind of wealth for yourself. Now, here's something else that's kind of interesting. People will be curious to know, well, what do you promote? Well, this is a video called Bad Romance, which is the name of a song, and it's by Lady Gaga. So I go over, something like that. Amazon.com. You can do this yourself right now if you want to. Go to Amazon.com and type in Lady Gaga. Oh, Lady Gaga I typed in. Lady Gaga. Yes, there we go. So, Lady Gaga. That's a page of results right there on Amazon, and it's full of products that you can promote, because if you're an associate of Amazon, which is their affiliate program, Amazon Associates, if you're in Amazon Associates, you can go and promote anything you find on Amazon and make commission on it, literally anything. So right here, there are DVDs, MP3 downloads. There's, I'm pretty sure there's a book that came out quite recently with Lady Gaga involved in it as well. I think it was like some sort of photography, one of those sort of big books that you get on coffee. Oh, there it is, a big book you find on coffee tables. This one right here, Lady Gaga and Terry Richardson. This one here is $29.76. So again, you can easily make commission on something like this and get paid very well for promoting it. Here's a good one. The collection here, Born This Way, 2 CD and DVD combo. Right here, that's $26. Here's a T-shirt. This is $22.50. All of these things are related to Lady Gaga herself. And there's just tons of stuff there you can promote. Now, what's cool is that you can actually, as an Amazon associate, you don't have to link to one single product. You can actually link to a whole page of search results, just like the one I'm on now. So on Amazon Associates, once you actually sign up, there'll be a grey bar at the top here. And one of the links on that grey bar is linked to this page. And what you can do is just link to that page, get the link, and then you can shorten it using bit.ly. That's the one I'd use for Amazon links, bit.ly, bit.ly. You can go ahead and get that link, and then simply get them to put it underneath this video. Now, if this video is getting an average of 22,000 views per day, do you think you're likely to make some money from it? I'd say so. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd say that's a fairly good bet. If I can drive that many people to my link every single day, and I know that maybe 1% of them will click it, then I'm fairly confident that I can make money from that link, and you should be too, because this is how I make my money on a daily basis. So that's a full example right there of exactly what I would do, what I would find, all that kind of stuff. So find videos that are related to the ones that are really popular. So if you find an official video, like a movie trailer, that's really, really popular, go and search for videos that other people have made about that movie trailer. Maybe they've made their own version of the trailer. That's something that a lot of people do. A lot of sort of film students or media students tend to make that sort of thing, where they will, make a version of the trailer instead. So, any of that stuff is really cool that you can do, and very, very simple. So, how do you know it's not already been monetized? That's a very good question. Basically, you can go and look at the video itself. The software will detect whether or not the video has been monetized as well. So rather than looking at it yourself, the software will actually go and check. That's what I was saying earlier on. The software will go and check whether there is a link in that video description already. If there is, it just ignores that video. If there isn't, then it will come and check the other criteria. And if it fits all the criteria, then you'll find out about it, but only after the software has sent out a message. So it's something that the software checks automatically. So it's very, very simple, very straightforward. And yeah, so the software knows whether or not it's been monetized. Now think about this for a second. If you put a little bit of time in to each one of these, and someone's actually just mentioned this, just think, put a little time in, and depending on how long it takes to do one video, do 5 videos a day and keep going. That's $50 a day. Then that plus another 50 keeps going until you desire to stop. Yeah, exactly right. That's a very, very well summed up by someone there on the chat box. And yeah, basically that's exactly it. How many of those videos could you do? If the video is going to make you, let's say even the video makes you $2 a day. Okay, that's really, really low. Let's say the video makes you $2 a day on average. Okay, so let me just show you the maths on this again. Hopefully you can see my calculator on the screen. So right there, let's say it makes you $2 a day, and we multiply that by 365 days a year. That's $730 for that video in the course of a year. Now, how many of those videos could you do? What if you did 20 of those videos, only making $2 a day? That's $14,500 from 20 videos. And remember, the software's doing all the work for you. right? It's finding the videos. It knows whether they're trending or not. It knows whether or not they've been monetized. It knows if they're popular. All of that stuff's done for you. That's the bit that takes the hardest and longest amount of time. Just get your link in place on those videos, and that's it. Really, really simple. Loads of people saying, someone just said, I think I'm getting it. Someone just said, Hawaii, here I come. Cool, why not? Yeah, Hawaii's a nice place to go. So, yeah, very, very cool. You can see all of the potential right there, I think, right, from that example. And by the way, one more thing. There are absolutely loads of these kinds of videos out there. Somebody is bound to ask this question, because I did 1 or 2 webinars in the past and this question has come up. And the question is this: people say, well, hold on, aren't we going to run out of videos at some point? Isn't there going to be too many of us doing this strategy, and with too many of us doing it, then there won't be enough videos? Okay, here's my answer to that. I'm going to answer it before anyone asks it. Think about this. This is an official statistic. The reason I brought up YouTube stats is to kind of talk about this earlier on. So I was looking for YouTube statistics. Let's see if I think I might have closed that window. Okay, so YouTube stats, just there. Let's go for. Type in YouTube stats just there. Okay, I can't find it. But anyway, I had YouTube earlier on. YouTube stats were up on the page. And if you can go and search this yourself, by the way. YouTube will go and do something very cool every couple of months. It updates its statistics. Go to Google and type in YouTube stats, and you'll find the statistics that you need. Now, the statistics that you need are these. YouTube is currently getting 48 hours worth of video uploaded to its servers, to its site, every minute. 48 hours worth of video uploaded every single minute, on average, to YouTube. That's crazy. That means that every day there is 8 years worth of video being uploaded every single day on YouTube. 8 years worth of video. That's mad. I don't even know where to start with that statistic. It's crazy. And that's something from YouTube itself, so they should know what kind of videos and what sort of numbers they're doing, and they do, and they kind of publish these statistics. Yeah, it's crazy. They currently get over 3 billion video views a day. And in that time, you can see how many people are using the site, as well as how many people are uploading the videos. Some people don't ever upload a video to YouTube. They just go on there, they have an account, and they just look at videos. Many people never even have an account. They don't even do that. Most people will have, because they'll have a Google account, and Google actually owns YouTube. But generally speaking, yeah, you won't find anything more amazing really than those statistics for YouTube. And when you think about what that means for us with this system, there is no way we will ever run out, because there's always videos that are becoming popular. There's always videos that are going viral. When you excuse me, when you look at the kind of numbers that YouTube is doing, and you think about the number of video views. I mean, for example, that Lady Gaga one that I showed you earlier, that Lady Gaga video has had, 450 million views in the space of 2 years. That's crazy. And, that's 225 million views a year that video is getting. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. So as a result, you're able to go and monetize those videos. Now, all I was looking for are videos that have got a minimum of 60,000 views. Well, there's tons of those. There's loads out there. If you've got, 3 billion video views a day, the chance of you finding a video that has a minimum of 60,000